Hi everyone, Josh here with Top Score Tutor. Thanks for tuning in as always. And in this video, we're going to look at the final set of grammar rules that we're going to discuss for section 2 of the SAT. So let's go ahead and get started. So picking up where we left off, now we're dealing with pronouns. You haven't heard that since 7th grade. I know, me neither. Pronouns are words that replace a noun. Let me show you some examples. Pronouns are words that replace the noun. So they are nouns, they're a form of a noun. But for example, I don't say, Josh created a TikTok video, Josh got 20 million followers, Josh started getting a lot of exposure from his amazing, awesome TikTok videos. I don't keep saying Josh every single time. After I say Josh the first time, I can replace that noun with a pronoun. A singular pronoun, because Josh is one person. So for this example that I just gave, this awesome example, I would use he. So Josh created a TikTok video. He got 20 million followers. He got a lot of exposure. His TikTok videos were awesome. He, his, those are singular pronouns to replace my singular noun. So that's a good little crash course in pronouns. A word that replaces a noun. So what does the grammar rule say about pronouns? Well, we have pronoun agreement. Where have we heard agreement before? What grammar rule have we heard agreement? Subject-verb agreement. Singular, singular, plural, plural. The same thing is with this one. A singular noun is replaced by a singular pronoun. A plural pronoun is replaced by what? You guessed it, a plural pronoun. So let's look at an example right here on the slide. Speakers of Appalachian English and its families communicate in a way that shows just how influential diversity can be on the language we speak. So let's identify my noun. Let's identify my pronoun, and then let's match them up. So the pronoun is in the underlined portion. That's usually the case with these questions. So what's the pronoun in that underlined portion? Its. Its is the pronoun. Its is replacing a noun. It's referring to something. It's a thing. It's a person, place, or thing. Who or what is the word its replacing? What noun is its replacing? What noun is this pronoun replacing? Its families communicate. Whose families communicate? Speakers. The speakers of Appalachian English and its families. So the speakers' families. That's the noun that the pronoun is replacing. So now that we've identified that, what's the next thing that we do? We have to identify whether they're singular or plural. So speakers, that's plural, that's multiple people. Its, is its referring to one thing or multiple things? Its is a singular pronoun. So are they in agreement with each other? No. If we had answer choices, you would need to select the pronoun, the underlined portion, would have to match up with the plural subject. So you would choose the plural pronoun. There would be acceptable. Speakers of Appalachian English and their families, because their is referring to multiple people, as we looked at in a previous example. So let's go to practice test 3, section 2, and look at number 12 and 26. Okay, so what's the first thing that we do, guys? Never changes. Put brackets around the sentence in question. Okay, so that's the whole sentence. I'm going to highlight it for you guys. What's the next thing that we do, guys? We got to compare the answer choices. So choice A is themselves. B is himself, herself, theirselves, oneselves. Well, it's not an action. So really, if it's not an action, it's got to be a noun. It's pretty much a subject. So it's a pronoun. Those are examples of pronouns. We're not looking at too many parts of speech, guys, so it's really easy to narrow. Is that a verb or is it a noun? One or the other. If it's a noun, it's either subject or pronouns. So we know we're dealing with pronouns. Okay, so now we go to work. So we got to find our noun, we got to find our pronoun, and then we rock and roll. So the underlined portion is the pronoun. That's always the case. Themselves. Who or what found themselves in need of refreshment? Just the same thing as before. How do we identify the correct subject? Who or what is doing the action? Make sure you write that down. Who or what, in this case, found themselves in need of refreshment? The settlers traversing the American West. They are who found themselves in need of refreshment. The settlers traversing, going through the American West by train. They are who found themselves in need of refreshment. So the settlers. All right, now what do we do, guys? Got to identify singular or plural. Well, settlers is definitely plural. That's multiple people. Themselves, is that singular or plural? That's also plural. Themselves, that's multiple people. That's not one person, so there's no error here. Finally, choice A is the best answer. Choice B and D are both singular. Himself or herself, oneself, those are both singular. And choice C, that's not even how you spell it, their selves. That's not even a word or two words. So choice C is incorrect. So let's look at 26. All right, so I want to challenge you to go ahead and press pause and see if you can go step by step and solve the question and get the correct answer using the strategies I've showed you so far. Press pause, give it a shot, press play, and we'll compare notes. So the first thing we do, what's the first thing we do, guys? I'm going to ask you every time, because the second you're not watching this video, the second mom and dad aren't looking, you are going to resort right back to your old ways. It happens every time, and that's okay. We're breaking down old habits here, guys. We got to turn what we're doing now into our new habit, into our new muscle memory. So it's going to take a little bit of thought and effort first before it becomes second nature. So 26, what's the first thing we do? We put brackets around the sentence in question. Now what's the next thing we do, guys? We see what's changing in the answer choices. We compare the answer choices. So 26, we have there in choice A, and then we have there spelled a different way, it's, and then it's again, but with an apostrophe. So what are those examples of? Those are examples of pronouns. They're definitely not verbs, right? So they got to be pronouns. So we know we're dealing with pronouns in this sentence. Okay, so now we know we can go to work. Since we're dealing with pronouns, we got to identify the noun. We got to identify the pronoun. Well, the pronoun is always easy because which is the pronoun in this case? The underlined portion, there. Their scent production. It also limits their scent production. Who or what's scent production is being limited? The apples. The apples. While one MCP keeps apples tight and crisp for months, it also limits their scent production, the apples' scent production. So now what do we got to do? Well, we got to identify singular and plural. Apples. Apples is plural, that's multiple things. There is also plural. There is a plural pronoun. It refers to multiple things or people. It's not singular. So is there a grammar error here? Yes or no? No, there's not. So choice A is the correct answer. Choice B isn't even a pronoun. That's a different spell. There, that's referring to a direction or location. I'm sitting over there, as opposed to it's their wallet. It's their movie tickets, as that's referring to people, versus I'm sitting over there. That's a location. And then it's is singular, and then it apostrophe S is a contraction for it is. That's not even a pronoun. So choice A is the correct answer. So that's that's pronoun agreement. So let's look at the last example dealing with pronouns. So the last one is pronoun ambiguity. Sorry for all the zooming in, zooming out. Pronoun ambiguity. What the heck does ambiguity mean? If something's ambiguous, it's not clear to determine. It's not clearly stated. It's not clear to figure out. It's ambiguous. It's a lot of gray area. It's kind of confusing. It's shady a little bit. Ambiguous. So what that means in this case, pronoun ambiguity is the use of a pronoun must be clear which noun the pronoun refers to. So remember, a pronoun replaces a noun. Well, it needs to be clear which noun is being replaced. So look at this example, a real simple example. Lauren and Jamie went shopping, but she couldn't find anything. Well, my pronoun is she, but who is she referring to? Lauren or Jamie? They both went shopping, but she couldn't find anything. She is a singular pronoun, and we have two people in question here. So it's not clear which noun, Lauren or Jamie, the pronoun is referring to. Is she referring to Lauren or Jamie? So it's ambiguous. It's not clear. It's not easily understood. I don't find these are too common, but you'll still come to a couple questions like this. So let's look at number 19 on practice test 3, section 2. Okay, so here we are. What's the first thing that we do, guys? I know you're ready to kill me. I'm asking the same thing a million times, but I want to build up your confidence and make it muscle memory. The first thing we do is put brackets around the sentence in question. And then we tell the people mowing the lawn next door to keep it down, because I'm trying to work here. Okay, so what's the next thing we do? We put brackets around the sentence. Now what do? We got to compare what's changing in the answer choices. So we have also helped, also helping, helping, and helped. So it looks like the verbs are changing. But then you'll see that you also have they right there, which is a pronoun, and that's the only one that has a pronoun. So since the verbs are changing, let's do what we normally do with verb tense, because the tense of the verb is changing. Helping versus helped. That's present versus past. So what do we do if the verbs are changing? Now what do we have to check? That we're dealing with verbs. We have to see where this sentence is taking place. We have to look at the other verbs in the sentence to determine is this taking place in the past, present, or future. So not only were such regulations meant to ensure the efficiency of the business, but also help to raise people's generally low opinion of the restaurant industry. Not only were such regulations meant to ensure the efficiency of the business, so this whole thing is taking place in the past. This sentence is talking in past tense terms. Not only were those regulations meant to ensure the business, so this sentence is taking place in the past, so we can eliminate any answer choices that are not past tense verbs. So which answer choices are not in the past tense? Which two answer choices can we get rid of because they're not in the past tense? B and C. Helping is not in the past tense. So now we're between A and D, because that has helped. Helped is past tense. Well, if helped is the same between A and D, what else sets A and D apart? Go back and compare A and D again to see what's changing. D has the word they, the pronoun they. And D is the correct answer because who or what helped to raise people's low opinion of the restaurant industry? Not only were such regulations meant to ensure the efficiency of the business and the safety of the workers, but also helped to raise people's low opinion. It's not as clear what helped people's low opinion. By inserting the word they in choice D, we know that they is referring to the regulations. The pronoun they is replacing the word regulations, right? A pronoun replaces a noun. So by inserting they, it makes it more clear that we're referring to regulations that helped raise people's low opinion of the restaurant industry. So remember, it needs to be clear which noun the pronoun is referring to. Choice A doesn't even have a pronoun. It just says, but also helped. What also helped? They also helped. The regulations also helped. So that makes D the correct answer. So now let's move on to the next grammar rule.